SoulFood Books in Redmond, Washington. This is the first Wednesday night of the month of June, June 5th, 2013. Normally, Jeff Jower and I do this. We've been doing this for, 5-6 years, something like that. And Jeff is teaching astrology in China this week for a few weeks in Beijing and Shanghai, so you get me solo. We have quite a month coming up. It seems like we say that every month. How many of you here are repeat offenders? Have been here to Astrology Night before? How many people are first-timers? Okay, good. What we do here is we spend about 45 minutes to an hour talking about what I like to call the cosmic weather. This is where the planets are and how they're interacting with each other up there. Now, everybody is different. Today was here in Seattle, it was a sunny and warm day. For some people, that's amazing and they love it. Other people, it's too hot. If you're a duck, it's a terrible day because all the humans are at the beaches. You know? The ducks like a kind of clammy, cold day when no one's out and they have the run of the beaches themselves. The point being is that the astrology that we're looking at tonight, that we look at during the first part of Astrology Night at Soul Foods every month, is what's called mundane, not like as in mundane boring, but mundane as in the word world, mundus. It's world astrology. It's the cosmic weather. We'll do that for about an hour, then we'll take a 15-minute break or so, and after that we'll come back and we'll draw 3 charts to look at individual charts to see how we take the weather and we bring it down to individual lives. If you're interested in having your chart done, put your first name, your birth date, place, and time of day, date, time, and place on a piece of paper and put it on the table behind Julie, our videographer. Thank you, Julie, for doing this. And during the break, we'll draw 3 charts and we'll look at those in the second part of the evening. So, it's crazy up there. And it's gonna get crazier. And what that means is that it's up to each and every one of us that as it gets crazier up there, we have to counteract that by becoming saner down here. For those of you who have been coming here on a regular basis, you know that Jeff and I have been talking about the planets Pluto and Uranus. Pluto is it's a little planet way out there. It takes 250 years, about 243, 44 years, to go around the sun and therefore through the zodiac one time. So about 4 times every millennium, Pluto goes around. Meanwhile, Uranus goes around once every 84 years. These are slow-moving planets. And the rhythm of these planets, they impact our individual lives, but when they interact with each other, they impact cultural, social, global, economic, climatological changes. In the mid-1960s, the planets Uranus, that's almost in focus. Focus, Clint, is it possible to get this focused? Is that out of focus a little bit? It's not just my lack of glasses. It's out of focus. Clint? No, maybe. All right, we're out of focus. The planet Pluto and the planet Uranus, which are now 90 degrees to each other, and in astrology, when planets make angles with each other, this is when they have hum, when they have buzz. In the mid-1960s, Uranus and Pluto were exactly in line. They do this every other century, give or take, 30 years, 20, 30 years. It's a sloppy rhythm. In the mid-1960s, actually 1965 and 66, Uranus and Pluto were lined up. They lined up previously back in 1860, which was the founding of such institutions as the Western Union and the state of California and the New York Times. It was a very powerful social realignment during that time, too. We're also talking Civil War and other things in that period. Now, and I said 1860, I meant 1850, and it was pre-Civil War. Now, Uranus and Pluto have been moving in and out of this exact 90-degree angle since last year, 2012, the spring of last year, and will continue to until the spring of 2015. Just like the Uranus-Pluto conjunction in 1965 and 66 basically impacted an entire decade of the 60s, which for anyone who is either read their history or lived through it as I did, knows that the 60s really were from 1964 to 1972, and then the silent 70s kicked in somehow. And so what's happening is that we are on the front edge of this incredible period of dynamic change that harkens back to what did and what did not happen in the mid-1960s, which is why issues of gender equality, issues of social revolution, of equality, of war and peace, of ecology, and there are many, many, many other issues, but these issues that in some ways have not gone away but have been a bit dormant, all of a sudden are back in our face. And it was actually during the Arab Spring period that this Uranus-Pluto was first kicking up a storm. But from Earth's point of view, because the Earth goes around and these other planets are very far away, what happens is that the planets move in and out of phase. They look like they're exact and then they're not, and then they're 90 degrees again and then they're not. And so what happens is that from Earth's point of view, these planets continue to kick in and out of being exact. Now, they were exact for the third of 7 times last month. However, it's the faster-moving little planets, and when we use the word planets, we astrologers include the sun and the moon. We're not stupid. We're just using the Greek idea of planets that is something that wanders in the sky. A planet is a wanderer. And so the sun and the moon are considered planets by that definition. So what happens is, from Earth's point of view, the moon, which goes around once a moon, every 29 days, the sun, which goes around once a year, Mercury and Venus, which track kind of closely to the sun, Mars, which goes around every year and 3/4, year and 2/3, year and a half. All these planets move in and out of angles with this ongoing steady position of this near 90-degree angle between Uranus, the planet of social revolution, lightning change, and upheaval and awareness, Uranus, 90 degrees, to Pluto, the Lord of the underworld. And the underworld here isn't just the hell realms, although remember, William Blake said the hell realms were a place, quote, so beautiful they would torment an angel to insanity. You see, in psychology, the hell realms are really just the unconscious. It's everything underground. So Pluto is about everything that is repressed or suppressed. Pluto is all the hidden stuff. In the 1960s, for better and for worse, all the stuff that was repressed and hidden just exploded out in this kind of crazy revolutionary bacchanalian party that may or may not have accomplished what it was intended to. But the fact of the matter is now, as Uranus and Pluto are square, there is stress or tension between these two energies, the energies of what is suppressed and hidden. The Pluto is the planet of control, of dominance, and Uranus is the planet of freedom. And so we have here Uranus and Pluto. Did we lose Clint for the evening? Are we out of focus for the evening?
We never found Clint this evening.
Well, he was here. I wonder if this thing does anything. Okay, let's...
I can see it from here.
Yeah, it still is a bit out of focus.
The words are... I would have got there.
Focus. Okay, wait. Dysfunction. Okay. All right. So we have Pluto and Uranus at 90 degrees, and Pluto is in Capricorn, Uranus is in Aries. Capricorn and Aries and Cancer and Libra in astrology are considered the cardinal signs or the season starting signs. Aries starts spring. Is the beginning of spring. Cancer is the beginning of summer. We're coming up to that in a couple weeks. Libra is the beginning of autumn. Capricorn is the winter solstice, and that's the beginning of winter. And so when any of the faster-moving little planets move into cardinal or season-starting signs, they move into this square and they magnify the energy. Are you with me? The reason why I wanted to make this point is that over the last several days, we've had Mercury, the planet of the mind, the communicator planet, how we talk, how we listen, how we send and receive information. Mercury, the messenger of the gods, moved into cardinal, season starting Cancer, and is moving over the next several days opposite Pluto and square Uranus. And what do we have? We have revolution once again. Every time over the last year or so and for the next few years that we get clusters of planets squaring or opposing Pluto and Uranus that are already setting up this pattern, we're going to get repeats of the bigger issues. Are you with me? We got Turkey right now in meltdown. Before that it was Tunisia. Before that, it was Egypt. Actually, 2 summers ago, it was the Occupy Everything that began in Madison, Wisconsin. Where is it going to be next this fall? I don't know. But I do know that we have a rhythm here that is going to continue to bubble and churn, and each time it's going to become more intense over the next couple of years. We ain't seen nothing yet. Now, Cancer, the sign of Cancer, Cancer is Latin for crab. Crabs, when they grab onto something, they don't let go. Hence the name of the disease, cancer. It grabs on, it doesn't let go like a crab. However, Cancer, which is just Latin for crab, has a very important kind of association to crab. There's a couple of things. One is that crabs live in the intertidal zone, where the tide comes up and goes down twice a day. It's the most nutrient-rich and unstable point on the planet. Nothing ever stops. You see, in astrology, every planet relates to a sign, and every sign relates to a planet. The moon is the planet that relates to Cancer. The moon is the tides. The tides are always changing. The moon is our feelings. Our feelings are always changing. Emotions are constantly in motion. Emotion. So, the crab has no backbone, but instead it has a hard outer shell. The crab protects itself with an exoskeleton. And in a way, the sign of Cancer in astrology has to do with home and family and security. And we get our security, our jobs can change, our lives can change, but family, that saying, blood is thicker than water. This is what Cancer, the crab, is about the importance of family. And our homes are like shells. They're like exoskeletons, where we may have